Hey, I'm back for video 13. I'm going to speak into this mic. Just thought this would be kind of fun to just talk right into it and see if it sounds any better. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. Hope you're feeling great about yourself today. Hope your day's been great. And if it hasn't, then let's revise it and let's make it better. And let's create these good feelings so we can manifest the stuff that we really want. And that takes practice because the mind is programmed to think negatively. It's addicted to thinking negatively. Did you know that? Did you know that you're addicted to thinking negatively because you've been programmed? Isn't that crazy to think about that? When I learned that a few years ago, I was like, wow, no wonder life kind of looks the same every day, because we're thinking 95% of the thoughts that we thought yesterday. I don't know who figured this out or who did this math, but those are the statistics. So it's 95% of the same things that we thought yesterday, we think today. So that doesn't leave very much room for new thoughts. So we have to deliberately create new thoughts. And that can take some practice because we're so used to the negative. And so I always tell everyone to start with yourself, because when you start with another person or you start with an event or your job or whatever it is that you don't like and you're wanting to change, it's like we always seek something external every time to blame or to talk about instead of trying to fix our internal landscape. And so you want to always go within. If you're wanting to change something, there's no one to change but self, nothing to change but self, says Neville Goddard. When I heard that, I was like, that's interesting. Nothing to change but self. Okay, so if I only have to change my internal thoughts and how I'm talking to myself and how I'm thinking about other people, things, events, whatever, if that's all I have to do, then that's a lot easier than trying to fix something outside of myself. So that empowered me. That just felt really good because other times I'd felt pretty powerless. I was like, how do you change this, And so all you do is change your inner world. You go within and you think about what do I want? What is it that I really want? That is a question I've asked so many people and they do not know how to answer it. A lot of times they say, I want to be happy. Well, what does happy look like? How do you know you're not happy right now? And sometimes they're like, well, yeah, I guess I am happy right now. Maybe I want to be happy for the long haul, not just sporadically, that type of thing. And they'll say, and I do hear a lot too, when I get enough money, when I get that new job, when I get married, when I get this new car, when I don't have all these problems anymore, I'll be happy. So it's the I'll be happy when, and there's never a win. You get whatever, like, let's say you're waiting for when I get a new car, I'm going to be happy. Let's say you get that new car. Well, then something else is going to happen, that takes your happiness away again because you were basing your happiness on something external. So we want to get our internal world feeling really great. That's the goal, always. When I was young, I know this sounds really weird, but I think really weird things. I've just thought outside the box since I was little. And I used to think, what would I feel like if and I did take care of elderly people there for a while. I took care of my grandma for about a decade. So maybe that's why, I took care of I saw people, in their 80s and 90s. And so I just thought things like this. But if I were immobile, in a wheelchair or something, and I was, deaf and blind, let's say, how would I create happiness? Because you can't just die, I guess you could, but you're alive and you got to live your life every day like that. Let's say you're paralyzed. I took care of a guy that was paralyzed from the neck down, and he wasn't paralyzed his whole life. This was somebody that I met when I was married, and he was a quadriplegic, and I took care of him for some time, and that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was so sad. It was just such a lesson in just being happy. He was pretty happy, actually. It was crazy, but he had had an accident and he was not paralyzed before this accident. So he was a grown adult and knew what it was like to walk and do everything. And then all of a sudden he has an accident and he can't do those things anymore and has to have help with literally almost everything, like everything. So yeah, I always thought, like, what would happen if something like that happened to me, like, and it wasn't because I was scared of it happening. It was just like, how would I create happiness? If that were the case. And so, the fact of the matter is you can create happiness when there's chaos going on around you. No matter what environment you live in, you can create happiness. I look at it like, if you've got chaos around you, it's almost like you're in a boot camp and you're like learning how to tune out the chaos. So it's almost like we have to learn to tune out the world. And I tell people to, like, have tunnel vision. You've got to have tunnel vision, which means the way that you think and what you're wanting, it needs to be in the forefront. You need to be like you're in a tunnel. You're going through there and you're not able to see anything around you. You're just in this tunnel and you're going straight down. And you're not letting the clowns distract you or the flying monkeys. No one. You're just staying true to your vision and what you're wanting. And so commit today to working on feeling joy. And you have to manufacture this joy. You have to make it, create it in your mind. And one of the best things to do is to close your eyes and think about what it would be like to have something that you want. And we used to do this when we were kids, for sure. Like when you wanted something, from Santa, that was something that, oh my God, I was obsessed. I would cut up pictures, almost like a vision board back in the day. Didn't know that I was doing that. I did not know that I was manifesting, but I was. And I would just, every night I'd get my little flashlight out and I would just stare at a picture of a doll or whatever it was that I wanted. And then I'd get the toy or whatever it was. And so I used to do that with a lot of things, actually. Doc Martens, I think, when I was in, like, I don't know, middle school sometime. And I got everything I wanted eventually, and so that's something I love, that affirmation. I always get everything I want. I say that all the time. I always get everything I want. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I always get what I want. And that's not in, like, a cocky way. It's just saying, I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities. And start saying that to yourself. And also go within and say, this is what I'm wanting. This is what it's feeling like. Like, literally pretend like you're already that person. If you want to own a big business, pretend like you're walking through your office. You've got all these employees. You've got people saying good morning to you and anything. You're wearing your little suit, whatever it is that you want to look like or want to be doing. Dream it up in your mind. Literally, you have to create these imaginal scenes in your mind to tune out the world around you. Because again, 95% of your thoughts were from yesterday, and they are created from this world that you're seeing in front of you, this 3D reality that is right in front of you. It's giving you evidence of your thoughts. It's saying, look, you thought this yesterday. This is why this is here. And until you deliberately change your thoughts and your feelings, you're going to probably feel the same way every day. So if you haven't been feeling so great, or you have an up and down roller coaster where some days you're feeling good and some days you're not feeling good. Oh my gosh, I experienced that so much. I would feel so great and then my mood would go down just throughout the day. And I'd be like, what the heck is this? I had to teach myself how to come out of that, because you just have to. You deserve it. That's the last thing I'll leave you with, is telling yourself you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. I don't care who told you you didn't or what you've been thinking your whole life. There's something in us somewhere that we took that on and we said, I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to have good things. That's not for me. That's for everybody else. And so you have to dig deep and ask yourself if there is like this core belief that says, I don't deserve this. Because if that's going on, you've got to shift that. So you just say, I deserve to be happy. Even if you don't believe it, tell yourself that. Look in the mirror if you have to. Go into that mirror that I assigned you to do I don't know when that was, a few days ago. Look in the mirror, look into your eyes and say, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have everything I want. And something else you can say to yourself, I love to say this, is I love, honor, and accept myself. Almost like you're taking vows, like in a marriage. I love, honor, and accept myself. I love that affirmation. So I recommend you say that to yourself all throughout the day. I love, honor, and accept myself. I always get what I want. I'm great at manifesting. You can do ask-formations, what they're called, ask-formations. Why am I so rich? Why am I so cool? Why am I so awesome? Why do I always get whatever I want? How do I do this? I'm such a master at this. Say things like that to yourself. And again, your brain doesn't know whether it's true or false. You're feeding it. So what are you feeding your mental diet? What are you giving it? Every day, think about this. Keep this on the forefront of your mind. And I'll be back tomorrow to talk about this more and to keep beating it into our heads, our stubborn minds. You have to train your mind like a dog. Tell it to sit and tell it what you want it to think. All right? And I hope you feel great. I hope you feel a little bit better after this crazy video. So I'll be back for video 14 tomorrow. You guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.